everyone, and welcome to Kiki Crochet. In this video tutorial we're going to learn how to crochet step by step the star stitch, which is a very easy and a very simple stitch which we can use in almost all of our projects. The rule for this stitch is multiples of 2 plus 1, and the repeating rows are row 2 and row 3. So we are only repeating those 2 rows throughout, and in the end I'm going to show you how to close your project. So now let's see how to start. I have started with my chains and I have a total of 19 chains. So it's 9 times the multiple of 2, 9 plus 2 is 18, plus 1, 19 chains. So when we work the star stitch, I'm going to skip the first chain and I'm going to put my hook in the second one. I'm going to take the yarn, pull it through the chain, and I'm going to hold the loop on my hook. And what I do, just so all of my loops have the same tension, every time I take a new loop, I always grab it with my finger. Okay, now put your hook in the next stitch, in the next chain. Take the yarn and hold the loop on your hook. So I need to do this step a total of 5 times, and I'm going to have a total of 6 loops. So far I have done it 2 times. Okay, so in the next chain for the 3rd time, take the yarn and hold the loop on your hook. For the 4th time, in the next chain, take the yarn and hold the loop on your hook. And for the 5th and last time, put your hook in the next chain, grab the yarn and hold the loop on your hook. So we have gone through 5 chains and I have a total of 6 loops on my hook. I'm going to take the yarn and pull through carefully through all of my loops, and I'm going to chain 1 to secure. So it only happens in the first star that we create that we have to go through all of those chains. From here on, what I'm going to be doing is every time I start a new star, first I'm going to put my hook in this little eye over here that was created by the chain 1 that I just made to secure. So this is the first spot where I'm going to put my hook into. The next spot where I'm going to put my hook into, it's into the 5th and last loop that I held on my hook, which is this one over here. Okay, I'm going to put my hook in this 5th loop that I created, only on this first loop over here, on the front loop of it. Then the 3rd spot is the same exact chain or stitch that I worked my 5th loop into. And for the last 2 loops, I'm going to grab the next 2 chains from my project. Okay, so let's start. So the first loop comes from the center of the star, right here, where we worked the chain. Okay, and hold the loop on your hook. The second loop comes from the 5th loop of the previous star. So put your hook on this 5th loop, take the yarn and hold the loop on your hook. The 3rd loop comes from the same exact chain as you worked the last loop of the previous chain, and you can tell because it's kind of extended that this right here is the chain that we want to put our crochet hook. So this was the 3rd loop. For the 4th one, I'm going to go into the next chain of my project, and for the 5th loop I'm going to go into the next chain of my project. So again, I have worked into 5 stitches, into 5 spots, and I have 6 loops on my hook, which I'm going to take yarn and pull through all of those 6 loops, and I'm going to chain 1 to secure. Now let's start the next star. Again, first I'm going to put my hook in the center right here of the chain that I just worked. The second loop I'm going to grab from the 5th loop that I just worked, right over here, and hold the loop. The 3rd loop I'm going to grab from the same exact chain that I just worked, my 5th loop, so right in here. And for the next 2 loops I'm going to go into the next 2 chains from my project. So the next loop the 4th loop from the next chain, and the 5th loop from the next chain. So again, I worked into 5 spots. I have 6 chains, which I'm going to take 6 loops, which I'm going to take yarn, and I'm going to crochet them together, and I'm going to chain 1 to secure. Again, first loop comes from the center of the stitch, of the start stitch that we just created. Second loop comes from the 5th loop of the previous star. The 3rd loop comes from the same exact chain as the 5th loop of the previous star. Okay. And for the next 2 loops, the 4th one comes from the next chain of our project, and the 5th loop from the next chain of our project. 6 loops, which we're going to close together and chain 1 to secure. Again, start from the center of the star, first loop. Second loop comes from the 5th loop of the previous star. Third loop comes from the same chain as the last loop of the previous star. Fourth loop comes from the next chain of our project. Fifth loop from this next chain of our project. 6 loops, which we're going to close together and chain 1 to secure. Again, first loop from the center of the star, second loop from the 5th loop of the previous star, third loop from the same chain as the last loop of the previous star, fourth chain comes from the next chain of your project, and 5th loop comes from the next chain of your project. Again, 6 loops, close together, chain 1 to secure. Now we're going to work our last star. Put your hook in the center of the star, in the 5th loop of the previous star, same chain as we worked the 5th loop of the previous star, next chain from your project, and the next chain from your project. 6 loops, which we're going to close together and chain 1 to secure. And I'm left with only 1 chain in the end, in which I'm going to work 1 half double crochet. So we started with a total of 19 chains, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stars. So here we go. Now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work, and I'm going to start row 2, which is my first row of repetitions. So in row 2, I'm going to put my hook in the first stitch right here in the half double crochet, and I'm going to work 1 single crochet. In the center, right here where we work the chain to secure the star, I'm going to work 1 single crochet. So for the first 2 stitches, the first one is the half double crochet and the next one is the first star. We're going to work a total of 1 single crochet in each of those 2 stitches. From here on, in all of my next stars, I'm going to be working 2 single crochet in each one of them. So go ahead into the next star, and right here in the center, work 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. For the next star, right here in the center where we work the chain, work 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. Next star, right here, work 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. Next star, work 2 single crochet. 1 and 2. Okay. Next star, work 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and right here in the last star work 2 single crochet again, 1 and 2, and right here in the end we're gonna work 1 last single crochet to finish the row with. So let's count our single crochet. I have 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 15. So I have a total of 7 stars in the previous row, and in the row of single crochet I have a total of 15 single crochet. So when you work after the row of your stars, the total number of single crochet you want them to be times 2 the number of stars plus 1. So I have 7 stars times 2 is 14 plus 1, 15 single crochet. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to turn my work counterclockwise. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work the first star, the first 2 loops on the second chain counting from our hook, and I'm going to take the first loop from the top loop of the single crochet right over here, and for the second loop I'm going to take this loop on the front of the chain right over here. So we work the first 2 loops in the same chain, but what we're gonna do, the first loop we're gonna grab it from the top loop of the chain, and the second loop we're gonna grab it from the bottom loop over here. Okay, so first loop from the top of your chain, second loop from this bottom loop of the same chain. So we have 2 loops, we need 3 more. The third loop I'm gonna grab from the first single crochet right over here, fourth loop from the second single crochet, and the fifth loop from the third single crochet. Again, I have a total of 6 loops, which I'm going to close together, and I'm going to chain 1 to secure. Now from here on, the steps are exactly the same. The only difference is that instead of working in the next 2 chains of your project, we're going to be working in the next 2 stitches. So again, first we grab the center of the star, second loop comes from the 5th loop of the previous star, third loop we crochet in the same exact stitch as the last loop of the previous star, the 4th loop comes from the next stitch, and the 5th loop from the next stitch of your project. Again, 5 stitches, 6 loops, close together, chain 1 to secure. Again, in the center of the star. Now this is row 3 that we just started, which is the second and last row repetitions. I forgot to mention that when I started. So we're only repeating the row 2, which is the row of single crochet, and row 3, which is the row of the stars. So the center of the star, the 5th loop of the previous star, same stitch as the one that you worked the last loop, next stitch from your project, and next stitch from your project. 6 loops, close together, and chain 1 to secure. Now keep working your stars throughout, and we're gonna have the next 2 stitches for the next star, next 2 stitches, next 2 stitches, and the last 2 stitches where we're gonna finish the last star. Okay, so the last star you're going to use the last 2 stitches of the row. Once I finish my last star, I'm going to turn my video back on to see how to finish row 3 and how to start row 4. I'm almost done with row 3, and again I have a total of 7 stars. Now I used up until the end, up until the last stitch. Now to finish row 3, and this is how you're going to be finishing all the rows with the stars from here on, yarn over once, and in the same exact stitch, in the last stitch of your project where you worked the last loop, in the same exact stitch we're going to work a half double crochet to finish the row with. Okay, and this was the end of row 3, which was the second and last row of repetitions. So from here on we're going to do again the repetitions of row 2. So what did we do? We chained 1, turn the work 1 single crochet in the first 2 stitches. Okay, now then in each of the next stars work 2 single crochet, and in the end right over here work 1 single crochet to finish the row with. Okay, so I'm going to work a few more rows to see how our project looks like, and then I'm going to turn my video back on to see how we're going to work the last row of any project that you're going to make. Okay, I've worked a few extra rows to see how our project looks like, and this is how it is. Now, when we want to finish a project, instead of working 2 single crochet in every stitch of the stars, because it's not going to look that nice as a finishing touch in a project, what we're going to do is chain 1, turn the work, okay, work 1 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next stitch, which was my first star, and from here on, instead of working 2 single crochet in the center of every star, I'm going to be working 1 chain and 1 single crochet in the center of the star. Chain 1, single crochet in the center of the star. Chain 1, single crochet in the center of the star. Chain 1, single crochet in the center of the star. Chain 1, single crochet in the center of the star. Chain 1, single crochet in the center of the star. Chain 1, single crochet in the center of the star. Chain 1 and work 1 single crochet in the end right over here. Okay, and this gives a nice finishing touch on our project. And in order to finish your project now, to complete it, after the last single crochet, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull and fasten off. Okay, weave in all of your ends, and this is how your project looks like. So the side that we work the stars is our good side, and the side that we work our single crochet is the wrong side of our project, which has a nice texture as well, but the side with the stars looks a lot better, especially if you crochet with a thicker yarn. The results of the stars looks a lot better. Okay, so this is our star stitch. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you like the video, please press like and leave a comment. Thanks again. Bye bye.